Star Wars 7 by 7 episode 2985. It's an Andor Monday, and it's only going to be Monday this week as opposed to last week where we kind of blew it out most of the week long. This time we're going to talk about a story in which Cassian only has a bit of a cameo, but it is kind of indicative of the position that he eventually develops within the rebellion. Punch it! Hey Rebel Rouser, I'm Alan Voivod and this is Star Wars 7 by 7, your daily dose of Star Wars joy. And thank you so much for joining me for it. So before we dig into this particular story, just a quick reminder that all 7 proposed questions for Mark Hamill for a potential interview are online. They've been posted in a single thread on the Twitter account for the show. That's SW7X7 Podcast on Twitter. And if you've caught them here and there, whether on my own Alan Voivod Twitter account or the podcast one or the podcast Instagram account, which is just SW7X7 over there, every like and retweet and share that you've done is one more drop in the bucket that helps make an interview possible, a conversation possible, and I'm so grateful to you for having done that so far. If you haven't done it yet, or if there's some that you haven't done it with, then I hope you'll consider checking in on that thread and sharing and liking and trying to get more visibility for it, because I would love to bring a conversation with Mark Hamill to you in and around the 3000th episode of the show, which is coming up in just a short couple of weeks. So fingers crossed, and again, thank you so much for your help in making this happen. All right, so the story we're going to talk about is Secrets of the Empire, and it's not one that's widely available in terms of information. I mean, it's out there, and in fact, I actually put a full story breakdown out there. If you go all the way back in the podcast to episode 1330, which came out in February of 2018, and also 1329 has just a general non-spoiler review, and 1330 has a full spoiler review of that experience. This is the virtual reality experience that you can go through either at Downtown Disney in Anaheim or Downtown Disney in Orlando. At least, you know, that used to be the case. I'm not sure if you can still do it, but maybe you can. I don't see why not. But this was a virtual reality experience that was put on with The Void, and you went through this mission to Mustafar, which was really exciting and cool. It's kind of pricey for the short 15-minute experience, but if you have the opportunity to do it, I do still highly recommend it. And Cassian only appears in one part of the experience, but it is Diego Luna who is reprising his role as Cassian Andor for this thing, and he is the one giving you the mission briefing for everything that you're going to go through in Secrets of the Empire. So the gist of it is that the rebellion has been tracking some sort of crate that seems to be of great value, and it's being transported to Mustafar, but every attempt the rebellion has made to try and find out what is in the crate has failed. They can't seem to do it. So they are sending 4 people, and you are one of the 4 people as you go through this experience. 4 people can go through at a time. So you are one of 4 rebel agents that's going to infiltrate the base at Mustafar, Darth Vader's castle at Mustafar, disguised as stormtroopers with the help of K2SO and a pilot droid that's flying your ship. And Cassian, as he's giving this mission briefing, says that he had intended to be a part of this mission, but the Empire had other plans for him, and he's delivering this as he's being shot at in his own right. If you remember the conversation that Finn and Poe have with Maz Kanata in The Last Jedi when she is dealing with a labor dispute, quote unquote, and she's getting shot at, right? It's not as acrobatic as that, but it's a similar kind of thing. Now, I know that this experience has been out for a while, but I won't necessarily spoil it for you. I'll just tell you that you basically are given a mission to either recover this crate or get information on what's in the crate and bring it back to the rebellion for analysis. So you don't actually get to repossess the crate and steal it away, unfortunately, but you do get to get the analysis for it. So there is a success that happens with the mission, and that's pretty much the gist of it. So as far as putting it into an understanding of how it might reflect on the Andor series, well, first of all, Cassian and K2 are working together, so that definitely, is not going to be until a season 2 kind of thing for the Andor series. And I guess, probably the, third block maybe or so of the series, second or third block maybe. But the thing that struck me as pretty remarkable about this in terms of Cassian is that this is kind of a major mission where if they've already made attempts to try to find out what is in this shipping crate that's being transported to Mustafar, they haven't been able to do it. And so the fact that they're bringing in Cassian suggests that he may be one of their best assets, and they're like, look, we haven't been able to do it. We got to bring in the big guns to make this happen, and that's Cassian, right? So in the space of 3 years, he has risen up in the ranks of the Rebel spy network to be considered somebody super talented and super competent in terms of missions like these. What isn't necessarily clear is whether the rebellion knows that Darth Vader is hanging out on Mustafar, that that's his home base of operations. And Darth Vader himself, I think, is mostly just kind of a bedtime horror story, basically, for most people, because most people who have encountered him have not lived to tell the tale. So I don't know if anybody really knows or understands what the deal is with Vader, let alone knowing that he's on Mustafar. But you, as the person playing in this adventure, and your fellow stormtroopers, since there'll be 3 of you going through this thing, you actually get to see Darth Vader in this. And so you would be able to, in theory, report his existence to the rebellion, or report the existence of somebody who is crazy dangerous to the rebellion. But I suppose that would be more of a just confirmation thing, because sooner than that, the existence of Darth Vader is known by the Spectre Cell of Rebels, as in Star Wars Rebels, right? Ezra and Kanan and Hera and Sabine and Zeb and Chopper. But I digress slightly. Ultimately, like I said, in this mission, you do get to do the analysis of what's in that shipping crate, and it's uploaded. K2 receives it, so you can bring that back to the Rebellion for future analysis. And the makers of Secrets of the Empire have implied that this story will affect future storytelling down the line. I don't know if it's going to affect the Andor series, especially how they keep talking about it. It's about people, it's about the community, it's not about the Jedi, and in theory, it's not about the Sith either. It seems to be much more, spy, military, dramatic based, as opposed to space wizardry based. So we may not see anything about that, but it wouldn't surprise me to see, or hear a passing reference about a mission like this. And heck, maybe we'll get to find out what plans the Empire had for Cassian that prevented him from going on this mission. But since he's working with K2SO, and K2SO has the plans, and Cassian's the one who sends you on this mission, makes me think that he's also going to then become aware of the details of this mission and what was in the shipping crate and whatnot too. So yeah, there you go. That's what I've got for you pretty much. Just it certainly indicates that over a very quick span of time, Cassian is going to rise within the rebellion's ranks in terms of his spy prowess, his assassin prowess, his saboteur prowess, and we're going to be seeing how that happens in Andor. But it seems like he already has a bit of a facility with that to begin with, based on the footage from the Rogue One IMAX encounter, which, by the way, if you were not able to see that on the big screen, one of the clips that has been posted on StarWars.com's official YouTube channel, it's also on social media as well, has much of that scene, the conversation between Luthen Rael, Stellan Skarsgård, and Cassian Andor, Diego Luna's character, talking about getting this mysterious box from an Imperial shipyard. And that conversation happens just before a bunch of pew pew laser battle begins, but you definitely get the meat of that conversation in this new clip that's been posted online. So if you missed the Rogue One IMAX re-release, that's okay. Well, I'm sorry, that's a bummer. And also, the footage is out there now if you want to check it out. And that's what I've got for you for today's episode of the show. It just remains for me to say thank you so much for joining me for it as always, and may the Force be with you wherever in the world you may be.
7x7 is not endorsed or sponsored yet by Lucasfilm Limited, Disney, or 20th Century Fox, and is intended for entertainment and information purposes only. Star Wars, the Star Wars logo, all names and pictures of Star Wars characters, vehicles, and any other Star Wars related items are registered trademarks and/or copyrights of Lucasfilm Limited, or their respective trademark and copyright holders. May the Force be with them. All original content is copyright 2021 by Star Wars 7x7. We hope you love it.